Hey Scrappy Peeps, Susanna here today to share with you a 8.5 by 11 layout that I created using a rekit. This is the layout. I was cleaning out my year's worth of Cocoa Daisy kits and wanted to pull them apart and organize them by manufacturer because that's how I have most of my stash organized. And as I was doing that, I also had bits and pieces of paper left over that I wanted to refile as well. And as I was pulling apart these kits, I found pages from other kits that went really nicely with pattern papers and embellishments, and had a couple of pictures on my desk and sort of created, this is one of 3 layouts that I created from recreated kits. I knew I wanted to do an 8.5 by 11 page, and I used that black and white floral on the left side with just a border strip that I had left over on as a border to the page. I had already created this collage of pictures of my daughter hiding behind what she calls her chicken pillow. And my original intent had been to create the layout as it is here with the dream title down the bottom and the pictures up the top. But with the flowers that I knew I wanted to cut out from that pattern paper on the left, it wasn't going to fit on the page. So I had to restructure how I was going to be able to get that to work. So I just used my X-Acto knife, and I have put brand new blades in my X-Acto knife, so things cut out very quickly and easily when they're just laying on my mat. You know that the blade is not new and needs replacing when I actually pick it up. I prefer to move the paper around the blade. I feel like I get a cleaner cut that way. But with a clean blade, you can do it directly onto your mat if you have a self-healing mat. So I'm quickly just cutting out that one particular flower, but I did use 2 others that I omitted from the video. And I've got this flower to go in the photo cluster is what I had in mind, and you'll see where it doesn't work on the left hand side because it covers her face, and I don't like it on the right hand side because it doesn't really work around that love you. So I don't like that bag hanging out, and I don't like the frame that's created by that. So I decided to fold the glassine bag that my Cocoa Daisy goodies come in, and ultimately I decided if this is where the photo cluster is going to go, then to spatially move your eye diagonally across the page, the title needs to go up the top, and that works much better. There's some balance to the top right of the page with the bottom left of the page. So having figured out the weight of the layout, I'm going to use my ATG and adhere these goodies down. I often intentionally leave the strips on my pages if they run from top to bottom or right to left on a page a little long so that I can trim them, because sometimes your page isn't exactly 11 or exactly 12 long, and that just allows you a little wiggle room. I always fold these glassine bags and forget that I maybe want to stick a tag in it, and so have these folded bags, and they look great because they give dimension to your layout. However, they're not very good for adding things. I was just writing on the back of the layout because I had the pictures, the date on the back of the pictures, and once you adhere that down, it's no good. And while I can always go back into my print folder to see what the date of the pictures is, it's much more convenient to just have it on the back. So this strip I took off of it's the selvage off of the ombre pink coral pattern paper, and originally my title was going to be Dream the Simple Life, but I couldn't find stickers small enough for life that I liked. I had pulled out some I believe they're lawn fawn puffy stickers, but the balance I couldn't create, and so I actually end up taking that black, the simple, off and putting in a different title. I had these buttons, I think they came with the same kit as the black and white floral. Once you pull them apart, unfortunately, you don't remember. I love that twine that came with it, and threaded that through the tag, and I love those buttons. I'm not one for big, thick, bulky things on my layout, but I put a lot of big, thick, bulky things. I really love these acrylic pieces from Color Cast Design, and so I have one of those. I think it's a gold heart that I put to the right hand side, and you can see I omitted the two other flowers that I cut out, and there is the layout really in its entirety. I put a second tag in. It just created some more balance. I needed some of that black and white, a little more white to pop the white on the border, and I just go to town with my ATG and adhere everything to the page. Other than this, you'll see the complete layout. I do take off the simple, I've told you that already, and then I just took a little bit of gray shimmer mist and splatted that just to add a little bit of visual interest and texture to the background. This is not journaled, and I'm not sure that I am going to journal on this because I really don't like my journal being visible to the world. I'm one for hidden journaling. You probably already know that. And I might just stick a blank piece of paper, not a blank, but a white piece of paper into the glassine bag that eventually the kids will learn to look for all this hidden journaling that I've put on their pages. I use my Martha Stewart pen. I love that pen for smaller embellishments and getting them on. And my Scotch glue in the fine tip applicator is awesome for the Color Cast Design acrylic. And then I like my glue dots for buttons. They hold things down really well. So I do stick this down, but I do eventually take it off, and you'll see in the close-ups that that's not the title that I go with. So in a couple of seconds, I have 3 close-ups for you and then a different angle shot. All thumbs up would be great. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get updates on all the videos that I do. Thanks for joining me today.